everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside Now. This is part 2 of Kerry Von Erich. Jack, you're going to start us out.
Kerry Von Erich would continue wrestling in Texas for his father in January of 1980. We continue looking at highlights of his career in February of 1980. On February the 3rd in Dallas, Texas, the Spoiler and Mark Lewin defeated David and Kerry Von Erich. And then on the 10th in Dallas, Texas, Kerry Von Erich and the Spoiler ended without a winner in a time limit draw. And on the 11th, Fort Worth, Texas, Kerry Von Erich defeated Killer Brooks. And then February the 14th, 1980, Sports Arena in Amarillo, Texas, Ted DiBiase and Kerry Von Erich defeated Tim Brooks and Jim Dillon. Then on the 14th of March, 1980, Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas, Kerry Von Erich defeated Lord Jonathan Boyd. And then for the WWF in New York City on March the 24th, Madison Square Garden, Kerry Von Erich defeated Jose Estrada.
By the way, that was his first appearance ever at Madison Square Garden in New York. All right, that's all I really need to say on this.
Kerry Von Erich and Bruiser Brody defeated Mark Lewin and Gino Hernandez. Then on April the 12th, Granbury, Texas, Kerry Von Erich and Les Thornton defeated J.J. Dillon and Mr. Hito by disqualification. June the 2nd, Fort Worth, Texas, Bruiser Brody and Kerry Von Erich defeated Gino Hernandez and Johnny Valiant. July the 3rd, Taylor County Expo Center in Abilene, Texas. Kevin Von Erich and Kerry Von Erich defeated Stan Stasiak and Han Schroeder by disqualification. July the 4th, 1980, Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas. Kerry, Kevin, and Gary Young defeated Mr. Hito, Kazuko Sakurada, and J.J. Dillon.
That was easy for you to say.
No, it wasn't. And then July the 6th in Dallas, Texas, Kerry Von Erich and Sweet Brown Sugar defeated Stan Stasiak and Hans Schroeder. Then the July the 28th, Fort Worth, Texas, Kerry Von Erich defeated Harley Race in a challenge match. July the 30th, 1980, Fair Park Coliseum in Lubbock, Texas, Gary Young versus Kerry Von Erich, winner unknown. And then August the 1st, Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas, Sweet Brown Sugar and Kerry Von Erich defeated Killer Brooks and Stan Stasiak, a title change for the NWA Texas Tag Team titles. September the 2nd, 1980, Sports Arena in Amarillo, Texas. Kerry Von Erich and El Halicon defeated Gary Young and
Pat Song for the NWA American Tag Team titles in a 2 out of 3 fall match. Go ahead, Jack.
Am I still here?
You're here.
Okay. All right. And then September the 6th, 1980, Paris, Texas, Gary Hart and Kerry Von Erich versus Kerry Von Erich, winner unknown. September the 9th, Sports Arena in Amarillo again. Kerry Von Erich and Sweet Brown Sugar, the champions, defeated Stan Stasiak and Bulldog Brower by disqualification. September the 14th, Dallas, Texas, Kerry Von Erich, David Von Erich, and Kevin Von Erich and Bruiser Brody defeated Gino Hernandez, Gary Hart, Gary Young, and Pak Song. Then September the 29th, in Fort Worth, Texas, Harley Race versus Kerry Von Erich ended without a winner in a double countout. November the 18th, 1980, Sports Arena in Amarillo, Texas, Kerry Von Erich and Mark Lewin versus Stan Stasiak and Tim Brooks, who were the Texas Tag Team Champions, winner unknown in that match. And then December the 28th, 1980, in Dallas, Texas, Kerry Von Erich defeated Gino Hernandez, a title change for the NWA American Heavyweight title.
All right, pick up in Fort Worth, Texas on January the 19th, 1981. It was for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Harley Race defeats Kerry Von Erich. Then again in Dallas on February 1st, 1981, it's Bruiser Brody and Kerry Von Erich defeating Killer Brooks and the Great Kabuki. back in Dallas on February the 8th, 1981. The Great Kabuki versus Kerry Von Erich. Both of a double countout in that one. Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas on February 22nd, 1981. Harley Race versus Kerry Von Erich ended with no contest. Of course, that was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Shreveport for Mid-South Wrestling at the Municipal Auditorium, Shreveport, Louisiana on May the 1st, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeated Ernie Ladd by disqualification. Back at the auditorium in Shreveport on May the 8th, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeats the Great Kabuki. Kill Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri on May the 15th, 1981. It's Baron Von Raschke and Dick Murdoch defeating Kerry and David Von Erich. It's Municipal Auditorium again in Shreveport, Louisiana on May the 22nd, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeats Ernie Ladd. Rapides Parish Coliseum, Alexandria, Louisiana, on May the 23rd, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeated King Carl Fergie. I wonder if he was the king then. Maybe not. Maybe it's just plain Carl Fergie. I don't know. Municipal Auditorium, Shreveport, Louisiana, on May the 29th, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeats the Grappler. It's Star Wars at Reunion Arena, Dallas, Texas, on June the 4th, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeats Ernie Ladd for the NWA American Heavyweight Championship. Checker Dome, St. Louis, Missouri, June the 12th, 1981. Dick Murdoch versus Kerry Von Erich. And, of course, that was a double countout. Civic Center in Monroe, Louisiana on June the 14th, 1981. Kerry Von Erich defeated Crazy Luke Graham. Kill Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri on July the 17th, 1981. Jack Briscoe, Dick the Bruiser, and Kerry Von Erich defeated Dick Murdoch, James J. Dillon, and Ken Patera back in Dallas on July the 19th, 1981. The Great Kabuki and Chang Chung defeated Kevin and Kerry Von Erich by disqualification. The Coliseum at the Mississippi State Fairgrounds in Jackson, Mississippi on July the 23rd, 1981. Kerry Von Erich versus the Super Destroyer. That's the end of that.
Was he working for Mid-South Wrestling at the time? Because he seems like he was wrestling more in Mid-South Wrestling than he was in Dallas at the time.
At this point, it looked like he's being sent out. It's same thing was happening with Kevin. He was being sent out to other places. He was working St. Louis. He's working for Mid-South. And he was all over the place.
And I think the Sweet Brown Sugar was Skip Young, wasn't it?
And a lot in the Dallas show, World Class actually went into Shreveport, so I could see why he would work a lot in those markets.
He was over in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Sure,
man, he was over. This is part 2. We'll be looking at part 3 of Kerry Von Erich. Kerry was not the greatest wrestler when he started, but he became one of the greats, I believe. He was really, really good. But at the first, he would get lost a lot. You can go back and watch some matches when he first started. He got lost a lot. But by this time, he's really picked up and has some great matches with Harley Race. Those matches you can watch. They are part. There are matches on YouTube you can see. So they're very, very good. If you enjoyed this video, give us the big thumbs up. And subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Go one step further. Hit that notification bell and share the video. Until the next video on Kerry Von Erich, on behalf of Jack Lord, Rodney West, I'm Brett West. We'll see you in the next video.